Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Sunshine Show that's brought to you every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. by myself, Tina and Maria, and we call ourselves the Transatlantic Housewives of YouTube because I'm over in America and Tina and Maria are British and live in England, and all three of us are over 50, and each week we bring you a video of a different topic, and this week we are going to each bring you 10 different ideas to do this summer. So let's jump into today's video. So my first idea is an organisational one, and it's one that I need to do myself. And I have a memory of sitting at the dinner table, probably when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and my mum decided to do this, and that was get all the photographs out and label them. So that means either write on the back of the photograph or stick them into a book and write what that photograph is. Because I remember my mum looking at these photos thinking, is this Aunt Beryl or was this my cousin Beryl? Or was Aunt Beryl married to Uncle Jack? Or was Uncle Jack married to Phyllis? And if she had done this earlier, when she had a better memory, it would have been nice to look back at these photographs and go, oh, okay, so that was Aunt Beryl. By the way, I never had an Aunt Beryl, I just made up that name. But you get what I mean. I like to write little fun stories next to my photos. I've got a trip that we did when we went to Austria. No, it was Germany. And I wrote fun little sayings next to each photo. And it just makes me laugh because I forget some of the things that I've done until I've seen a photograph and then it jogs my memory. So I want to do this sooner rather than later. And I started this probably about 4 years ago, where I pulled all my photographs out of the photo albums and I wanted to do them in chronological order. So I started putting them in sandwich bags for each year, and then I was going to pull 1 year out at a time and then go through and stick them in a book and write a story. Well, I didn't get to that part. I got part organized, I just need to finish it. So that is one idea that you could do this summer. Idea number 2, you could either ask your friends or ask family members to come around one evening, one Saturday afternoon, and either sit in the garden or sit in the living room, have the windows open, get that nice cool breeze coming through the house, and you could decorate a garden pot and you could host it. You could supply the paints or the hot glue and the little rocks or gems, and you could each decorate a pot. Idea number 3 came to me when I was talking about my house that I grew up in last week, I think it was. And I was saying that I didn't know whether it was Edwardian or Victorian, and I thought it would be really good idea if whoever lived in that house first started a diary of the house. So say they had opened up the book with saying, we moved into this house such and such day, and then they could list all the renovations or changes that they had done through their lives. Because I remember my dad scraping off wallpaper, getting ready to decorate, I think it was the dining room, and there was like 4 layers of different patterned wallpaper on the walls. And I thought, what great history that is. And I know some people, what they do nowadays is they actually keep a little square of wallpaper that they find and they frame it. But it'd be really good to start a history of the house book, because we are the first people in this house. So it would be fun just to take some pictures, write down, you know, our names and the dates that we moved in and some of the changes that we made. And then if we were to ever leave, hand it to the next person that buys the house. Yeah, I think that would be a really fun thing to do. I mean, you obviously in the future wouldn't get to see it, but you'd be leaving it for someone else. In fact, we did what do they call it? A time capsule. We'll never get to see it, but my husband was in a bike club, a motorbike club, and one of the bars in Vegas was, I think they were repairing a wall or something. I can't quite remember what the circumstance was, but they were asking people to do a time capsule or submit something for a time capsule. It's actually quite a famous bar, but I can't remember what it is now. It's out in the desert. It's like a wooden shack bar, and a famous Hollywood actor stayed in it. His wife got into a plane accident, she was killed, and they stayed in that bar to try and find the remains of the plane crash. But they were doing this time capsule, so they asked us to submit a group photograph with our names and an explanation of the bike club. So I think in 100 years time, someone's gonna find a photograph of me. Anyway, that was a sidetrack. Number 4, create a journal for 1 week, and after that week, read it and see how you feel and see if you want to continue it. I know a lot of people say that journaling brings them peace of mind, it calms them down, gives them things to think about, and it could change the direction of their life if they start focusing and knuckling down on what they're writing down. You know, sometimes things bother you and you kind of brush it off, but if you write it down, it helps you get it out of the system. And yeah, so try journaling for 1 week over the summer. Number 5, either breakfast, lunch or dinner, eat outside. So lay the tablecloth, lay the napkins, the plates, take all your food outside, whether it's a barbecue, a picnic or a proper sit down dinner. Enjoy a glass of wine, but make it a meal outside, or even breakfast. I like breakfast outside. I think that's a nice, a little morning cup of tea on the lawn. But yeah, eat 1 meal during the summer outside. Next one. So go on a walk, but somewhere where you have never walked before. So whether it's driving to a new village, a new town, or finding a local walk path in the countryside. There's lots in England. There aren't so many here, like public walk paths on private property here in America. In fact, I don't know of any myself, but there are lots of hikes that can be done out on the state parks. So give that a try, you might like it. Idea number 7, walk 50 miles in 50 days and set that as a challenge. So whether it's 50 days straight or 50 days that you choose over the summer period. So if you set day number 1 as tomorrow and you set, I don't know, the middle of September is the end of summer, you've got more than 50 days there to walk 50 miles and set that challenge and ask your friends or family to join you. But here we are, trying to achieve our first mile, 50 days, 50 miles. I think that's some sort of heron there. It's black though, it looks almost like a red head. Don't know what that is. Me and Buster. Number 8, this is a good one. This is one that I like. Now, host an afternoon tea. So dust off that teapot and that bone china, get your tea bags out and host an afternoon tea. Now, whether you make your own scones or you buy them or buy little fairy cakes, make those little finger sandwiches. And if you have friends from other countries, invite them, because I know a lot of people have never experienced an English afternoon tea, and I bet they would love to try one. And what better way than to have an English tea with an English person? So host an afternoon tea. Number 9, it's time to write down your bucket list of places that you want to go, whether it's local, whether it's further afield, whether it's cruises, hotel stays, camping, whether it's day trips. I know when I lived in England, I did not explore England. I really didn't realise the beautiful countryside that we had on my doorstep. I never appreciated that Stonehenge was only about 35 minutes away from my doorstep. Yeah, and I'm really angry at myself for not getting out there. I mean, I've only been to Scotland twice now, and I've only been to the north of Wales once. There's so much of the countryside that I've just not travelled. And if someone gave me a map of England, an outline of England, and gave me puzzle pieces of where to put each county, I don't think I could do that. And to be quite honest, I don't think I could do it for the 50 states. I could get a lot of the states in the right places, but that top northeast corner, I think I'd get quite a few wrong. Get out there and do some traveling. And idea number 10 is to recreate a summer memory from your childhood. One of my summer memories that just always pops into my head was when it was 1976 and we had a heat wave, probably what you're experiencing right now. And I had a paddling pool, and it was a round one. It had a blue bottom and it had 2 red rings around the side. And we didn't get to play in that very often because the weather was just not good. But this particular summer, it was a heat wave, so I had it out for quite a while. However, our garden was on a slope. So when the paddling pool went on the slope, I had water at one end, but not the other. So I had to lay in it at an angle. But I remember my mum and dad, we had a crazy paving patio. We didn't have any lawn in our back garden, but my mum and dad laid out a towel each, and they sat there and they both ate an ice cream. They got one for me too, but I remember them, and I literally can smell the suntan lotion. If I close my eyes and I think of that day, I can smell that suntan lotion. It was a very unique scent and I won't ever forget it. But yeah, that's one of my biggest memories. So, and I keep thinking about getting just a little paddling pool just to put my feet in. You know, in Vegas I had a swimming pool, and I'm not going to get one here. We have a community pool here, but I have been thinking about getting a paddling pool and just putting my feet in it and seeing if the dogs want to go in it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is get a paddling pool. Anyway, I hope some of these ideas have inspired you to do at least 1 or 2 of them. And now pop over to Tina and Maria's videos and see what their 10 ideas are. I can't wait to see, because I want to try some of them. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you during the week with my vlog, and I'm going on a day trip to a little town called Granbury. I'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye from me. Bye.